Hello and welcome to Couch Conversations for ERP. I'm Diana Van Blaricom, your ERP Vice President of Strategy. And joining me today on the couch is our Director of our PMO, Kyle Hodges, and one of our awesome technical folks, Keith Haggard, who is one of our senior consultants on our Rockstar technical team. Today, we're going to talk about how to manage those Infor customer updates. Welcome, guys.
Thanks, Diana. We're excited to talk through the customer update management process and share some insights that we have found are really helpful for the team. As mentioned, my name is Kyle Hodges. I'm a part of the PMO at ROI and be partnering with Keith Haggard to walk through some considerations for the group. When we discuss this, we're going to talk about it in three specific areas. One is product awareness. The other is tactical technical management, where we'll hear a lot of insights from Keith. And the third is change management. Through these three pillars, we'll be able to outline some of the key considerations that we have for our project teams as they go through their ramp up for managing customer updates. So starting with product awareness, there's a few things that we want to make sure everyone is aware of because it's different when you get into the cloud versus having an on-prem hosted solution. With Infor's hosted products, every third Saturday of the month is when those updates are applied. They include fixes for bugs, enhancements, new feature rollouts. It's typically a great way to see all these things that are coming through that Infor is doing in this dynamically managed platform. With that, there's a few things that we recommend everyone does along the way as well. Via Infor's concierge tool, you can subscribe to knowledge base articles. These knowledge base articles include all the details that'll help you in managing your customer update process. They include the deployment calendars, the specific schedules based off of the Infor applications you're using, if it's Infor Financials and Supply Management, Infor Global HR, or Infor Talent Management. Additionally, there are some welcome packs, really insightful customer forum materials that you can participate in as well to hear what other clients are doing and get updates, monthly release training via Infor Campus, and Ask the Expert series. Through all of these KB articles, it's a great way to ensure that your project team has product awareness and is really up to date on what's coming down the pipe from Infor with the CUs. So that's a general overview from the project standpoint. I'm going to turn it over to Keith to talk about some of the tactical technical management pieces to consider.
Yeah, thanks, Kyle. So starting off, just to kind of copy off your topic about the knowledge base article, there is a wealth of information provided there. Just some examples of what you may find there. You're going to see some information about Spreadsheet Designer. The latest release has some information about how to enable Soho. There's lots of information about debugging there. There's items about the BOD mappings and ION connector information. On the FSM side, a very key component that the MSCM folks will need is a link to the CAB files and the APK installation files for your handheld devices. So those knowledge base articles that you mentioned are very critical and a wealth of information and your go-to source to find what's happening in that latest CU. Moving over to the technical operations, kind of the first section that I want to look at as a sysadmin is going to go to the async page. So if I log in there, I want to go to the async overview. That's going to show me a list of all my queues and what's running and what's not running. Hopefully everything is running. That's kind of what you want to see there after a CU update. So that's where my first place that I would start is just looking at the async. Let's take a look at all my async, my queues, make sure everything's out there is processing. There's no errors, nothing I need to check. We have jobs running. Everything looks good there. Kind of my second go-to space there is the ION desk. I want to go and make sure that all my data flows are active. All my connection points are active. I don't have any new errors that are a result of that CU update. So that's kind of a high-level place that I would start at, Cal.
Thank you, Keith. I appreciate those insights. And I know as we work with project teams, we look to develop routine touch points to both prepare for these customer updates as well as check in after the updates have been applied to go through and address those exact items that you've brought forward. So what does this mean for the broader project team? We've talked about increasing your product awareness, talked about some of the tactical skills that you can use from a technical standpoint, but it also needs to be incorporated into the overall change management approach for the core project team, and then subsequently as it's released to the broader organization. Some key things that we recommend: we talk about communication as being critical for ensuring that everyone is on the same page. One of the best ways to do that is by establishing routine work stream related sessions to talk about what's included in those customer updates. It can be led by the ROI team to start, but we also then recommend, after that cadence is developed, that we start to get insights from the respective workstream teams and they take over in that leadership. It's a natural part of the progression through the project lifecycle. From a timing standpoint, typically find that it's best to sync up with when the release notes are available. Normally that's approximately 2 weeks out from when the CU is scheduled. So we look to put something on that week to 2 weeks out time period to make sure everyone is apprised of what's coming in that CU and if there's any impacts for what we're doing within the project itself, and in the long haul for the team to evaluate if there are any impacts to their operational processes. Other tidbits that we found are helpful is to have selected team members who may own certain business processes or applications within Infor to share a couple of key findings and notes that they believe will be helpful for the broader project team and organization in those workstream calls and in broader project team meetings. And as they transition towards operational use of the system, to do that as a part of their stand-up huddles or weekly meeting cadence within their departments. The other area is, if folks are concerned about an upcoming change, to make sure you go back and revisit a lot of your project artifacts to be able to support testing, evaluate the scripts that you have available. Do you need to make changes to those scripts? Or do you know the system well enough that you're able to actually navigate and execute on that testing without it, which is great. We love to see that happen throughout the project lifecycle to confirm that there won't be any significant impacts to the way that you're using the platform at that time period. And then if there are changes, obviously to then work on that to get it communicated to the impacted end users. The last thing, we've talked about all these tools that are available. Another great resource to support the change management process and your product awareness is to connect with your customer success manager and to have them help schedule a concierge tutorial, as well as being a resource to help identify or work through any potential concerns you have from the CUs and the testing that you've gone through. So again, a lot of information that we're trying to share here, but we hope that these three main topics or pillars around product awareness, tactical technical management, and change management help you on your road to success with managing customer updates. Keith, anything else you'd like to share?
Not at this time, Cal. Thanks.
Well, Diana, I think we've enjoyed our little couch talk here. We appreciate you hosting this for us. And for anyone else, we look forward to having a chance to connect with you in your project implementations and helping manage your customer updates.
Thanks, guys. And I think it's really important to note that you tipped on a couple of great things that customers can take advantage of. Number one, put those updates on your calendar so that you're aware of that schedule. Number two, be sure to read the release notes and download the materials and the files and any documentation that's attached. Third, create a process to manage the change, right? How are you going to communicate that change across your organization? Keith made mention of the post-update items. Create a checklist. Have a post-update checklist that you walk through every month just for a quick update to make sure everything's working. And last but not least, create a plan to take advantage of those new features and functions that Infor is pushing out. So thanks again for joining us. We'll see you next time.